All right, first things first. We need to go back to server.js and we need to tell our Express application that we're using EJS as what's called our view engine. So when we ask our application to render, it knows we're using EJS. So the place we do that is right up here. So I'm going to add a line of code and I'm going to say set the template engine to EJS. There are others. We're just using EJS. It's relatively straightforward, which generates HTML with embedded JavaScript. And the way we do that is we say app.set. So we're setting a property of our application. We're going to set the view engine property to EJS. If we were to leave this out, none of this EJS stuff would work because our Express app would be like, I don't know what you're doing. If we switch now to router.js, we had this line of code that says res.send and we just sent a string. Honestly, we never do that in a web application. That was just to get things up and running. Instead, we need to render HTML pages. So we're going to replace this with res.render. And we want to render the index page. The convention is that like the default page for a route, like if the route is just slash, the default page would be index.html. So we use that convention to name our default page here for this default route to be index. And then final thing we're going to do is inside of views folder, we're going to create a new file called index.ejs. The name of this file has to match the name we specified here to render. Okay, that's required. We're going to run short on time. We have like 12 lines of code to type here, but we're going to do that tomorrow because I don't want you to be rushed. So we're going to stop here. All right. Just to help us keep things structured, I'm going to add another HTML comment here that says like we're done including stuff. So I'm going to say /include header. That just helps me have these nice comment blocks where we're going to keep all of our HTML and our EJS file organized. Let me show you what we do with include. So when we're building a website or web application, very often there's certain things we want like on every web page, right? Like a lot of web pages you go to will have similar stuff at the top of the page and similar stuff at the bottom of the page. And we certainly don't want to like type that in for every EJS file because that's tedious and it's a maintenance nightmare because if we want to change something, now we got to change it in every file instead of just once. So we can solve that in EJS by having an EJS file include other EJS files. So inside of views folder, there's a folder called include. And inside of include in our starter code, I already have an underscore header and an underscore footer file. And so here's our underscore header file. This has the stuff that we saw when we did our HTML lesson a little while back, where I have our doc type, I have the start of our HTML tag, I have the header block with all the stuff we want in terms of our char set and the title of our page and some style sheets that we're using that we'll get to later. And then I open up the body, like I have the tag to open the body element, and then the header ends. In the footer one, which we'll include in a minute, there's not much here right now. We just close the body and we close the HTML element and that's it. But I did want to model for you how we can use these footer and header ones inside of our EJS files. So let's add a couple more things here. We're going to keep this site really simple this page really simple for now. So I'm just going to add a comment block saying this is like our main site, like this is our default page. And I'm going to use a main element and I'm going to just say hello world for now. And then I'm going to add another comment because I like to have these comment blocks that help me keep my EJS file organized. These comments are going to seem like overkill right now because we're going to have twice as many comment lines as actual code lines. But as we build this file out over time, it's just going to help us visually understand the different parts. Let's add the footer. So we're going to include the footer. So we do this with our EJS tag, include underscore footer. And then I'll do my same format here for the comment. So this mini lesson focused on really just EJS and the three things it takes to make EJS. So just to review again, we have to set the view engine. If we don't do that, it's not going to work. We use the render function and pass the name of the EJS file. And then in our EJS file, we can include headers and footers to make our site or app more maintainable. And then our main HTML code, for now, it's just going to say hello world. We're going to add a lot to this as we go. I'm sorry? Did I what? Oh, switch. Yeah. So now when I run this thing, if I go to my run and debug menu, node server, start it, switch to the client, start it, it looks pretty much the same, right? Like it doesn't look any different, even though we're using EJS here instead of just sending text. But we can look at the page source and actually see like, oh yeah, here's the new code we wrote. We can see the header's been pulled in, and here's the stuff that we pulled in from the footer, and here's all of our comments. Great. Looks wonderful. So there we go.